podcast baby, podcast baby. I'm a podcast baby. Hello, everybody. Nordista Freeze here. I just wrote that song about being a baby, and it's very nice to see you here, season 2, or hear you hear me. Welcome to the fun zone. We're about to have Watson Maack join the house and chat some today. Watson, are you here, my friend?
Can you hear?
Yo, what's up,
Dude,
dude?
what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Here we go. Oh my gosh.
Here we go. It's really great to be talking to you. It looks like you must be home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm in my parents' house in Pennsylvania. Really looking like some older folks live here for sure. But yeah, yeah, back at home for the holidays. How are you doing?
I don't know what gave it away. I don't know why that room looks like it wouldn't be a young person's room. Is it just because the furniture's
I
got that
think
cool rustic look to it?
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like it just looks like older, just naturally. But
Dude, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm born and raised here, so I'm still where I normally am, but mom's upstairs making a pie right now, so I guess there's some Thanksgiving energy in the air.
oh, for sure. That sounds like the best time.
I got some
Like
coffee.
honestly, like oh, nice. I've got my trusty tea here.
Oh, what kind of
Really
tea are
just
you drinking?
I'm not sure. I think it's lemon tea. I put some honey in it just to like, get a little crazy. But
Whoa.
I'm usually not a crazy tea drinker, but recently I have been. So that's been like a new change. Like just trying to get away from just all the black coffee I drink.
Right.
Just to not get sick of that because I do like doing that. But if you
Well, you're
put
a barista
so much,
now.
I am a
You
barista.
probably drink a lot of coffee. Where is the name of the place you work again?
Crest Coffee. It's in Wedgwood, Houston, in Nashville, and it is great. Um,
Cool.
but yeah,
Did you say is it inside of a church?
yeah, it's like it's all donation based. Yeah, so you could like come in and say on one day, I'll pay you $1 for my coffee, or you can come in and be like, I'll pay you $100 for your coffee. You know what I mean? Like
Whoa.
people are getting a little crazy, but all the money goes back into the church's like ministry and stuff. So it's like helping a good cause, which is awesome. So I like being a part of that. But it's been cool.
That's really cool. Wow, I didn't realize that. That's a really interesting idea. Do a lot of people skimp out, or are people pretty generous with their
I feel like
when they
people
pay?
just like usually pay what they would think makes sense at a coffee shop. Like I don't usually get anybody who pays like 50 cents or just like tries to take their coffee for free.
Right,
Yeah,
they're like $3 for a black coffee or something.
it's just like typical like Portland brew pricing. Just moved over to Crest. But
That's cool, dude.
yeah, man.
What a cool opportunity. Do you work at that church, or is that just something that ran?
Um no, I'm just doing the coffee stuff, but their church is great. Really small. But the community there is really cool. So like they've asked me to play a couple Sundays, which has been cool. But
That's
yeah,
sweet.
yeah, they're very very kind over there for sure.
That's awesome, man. How are things going in Pennsylvania? What are you up to? What does the family like to do on the holiday?
Just hang out, especially right now makes it a little tough to do anything extravagant.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I flew in yesterday. Got to see some close childhood friends, which was nice. But yeah, mom's cooking at home. Dad and sister are here, really just hanging out. No big plans or headlines, really just relaxing, which is nice. Which I feel like it's just like the headline of 2020. It's just chilling.
Yeah,
So
right. That's
there's
been chill.
nothing really to do. Um,
Totally.
especially, I guess my mom picked me up from the airport and she told me our governor up here just closed everything again.
Whoa, no way.
Wild. So I guess they like closed anywhere with like a liquor license at like 5 p.m. today, which is insane.
That is insane.
Um, yeah, so like I don't know anything about owning a restaurant, but I feel like the night before Thanksgiving might be a pretty big heavy hitter for like
Wow,
you know,
yeah.
money and stuff. I feel like a lot of people eat out the night before Thanksgiving because they're gonna like cook all day the next day.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that totally
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
I can imagine like people are losing some funds right now, which means like people
Wow.
like have their jobs or like losing their funds, which is like super sad.
That is sad.
But but
It
yeah,
is a
I
very, very sad situation, especially for restaurant owners and,
for sure.
you know.
But like but yeah, home's great. Really just hanging, no big plans. Like I said, we're just getting to relax, which is really nice. 'Cause I feel like I don't get a lot of time to like relax at home anymore, just because like I don't live anywhere close to here. So
Yeah,
every
sure.
time that I come home, it's very relaxed and very much like I just get to sit and
Yeah, totally.
kind of hit the reset and fill just get filled with some joy from my family for sure. So it's been really good.
That's nice. Is it who all is in the family? Or you have any siblings or your parents still
Yeah,
together and
parents together. And my sister, younger sister, she's a senior in high school. Um, and
whoa.
about to hit the big leagues in the college. Um, but yeah, just us four. So it's been really nice because it's like not a crazy cluttered house. Like I know like a lot of some of my friends got like six siblings. I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, that is crazy.
That's
Is
just
that
that's
so
just big.
I'm sure they miss you a lot if like your sister's still home and you left for college. That's got to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think yeah, we're all super close, which I'm very fortunate to have such a great family and be able to have lived the life that I get to live
Yeah.
because of my family. But yeah, it'll definitely be weird when my sister graduates because then my parents will be empty nesters.
Right. Where's she gonna go? Is she gonna come to Nashville with you or is she looking somewhere else?
So she's like big into like cheerleading and gymnastics and all and like dancing and all that stuff. So
No
she'll
way. Cool.
she'll end up at like a southern school, I think, gonna cheer somewhere. She went and visited ECU and she really liked ECU, so I think she might end up there.
Where's
East
that?
Carolina. It's in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Is it in Boone?
I think not too far.
I
I
can't ever
think it's
remember.
in Greenville.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I don't remember, but it's somewhere in North Carolina. All my family's from Raleigh, so like right outside the Raleigh
Oh,
area.
yo, I didn't know that.
So like, it's not far from like my aunts and uncles and grandparents and stuff.
How did
Um,
y'all end up in Pennsylvania then?
my dad's parents split when he was younger, and my dad's dad stayed in Pennsylvania, and then my dad's mom moved down to Raleigh.
Oh, okay.
My mom's always been from Raleigh, so
Wow.
they met super young, which is tight. But
Yeah, right. Wow, that's really interesting. That's
yeah,
cool.
super cool, man.
Well, it's cool that you get to be that you were able to make it home for Thanksgiving. Even with this year, I know a lot of people aren't able to, so that's special that you're able to be there with them. And
Yeah, dude,
I
it
hope
really,
y'all have a really good holiday.
and it's like that's definitely something I thought about too. Like a lot of my friends, like at least at school, it was like some of them were going home, but also some of them were just staying in Nashville. Um,
Yeah,
Plus, because I want to make sure everyone has somewhere to be. Um,
totally,
but yeah, man,
totally.
very fortunate to be in the spot where I am for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. I've gotten to see you a couple times over quarantine. We've gone for walks
Mhm.
in the park,
Nice little strolls.
nice little strolls.
Sweet.
I think that was, well, and we originally met actually doing something that I've only gotten to do like a couple times during quarantine, which is we actually played a show. We played
Yeah, dude.
a backyard event at this. Actually, Leah, who was my guest, like literally just put out yesterday on this
Oh,
podcast.
we love.
Um, yeah, we love Leah, and
Um,
her and the people at Keo House their final show, and it was like outside, and people had regulated blanket spaces that they could like had to
yeah.
stay within, and
Oh
it
my.
was actually pretty inspiring. It was
It was
pretty
pretty
cool
awesome.
and
Like,
and very safe too.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely like, again, you and me both do the whole music thing, and I'm very much in that boat that I've played barely any shows in 2020. Um,
Right.
not of my doing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we love the Keo house. That was such a fun time. I'm glad we were able to ring out the Keo house one last time, which was awesome.
That was awesome. Art, did you move to Nashville to go to school at Belmont and pursue music? Is that the correct narrative?
Yeah, so I've been set on Belmont since my freshman year of high school. I
No
just like
way.
never checked out another school. I was like, yeah, want to come to Nashville, want to do the whole music thing. Um, and yeah, the pieces to that puzzle just fit right, and I was able to come. And
Wow.
yeah, dude, it was awesome. It's the only school I applied to, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, man, I always have done music, and it just I felt that God was really calling me to come down to Nashville and do it at Belmont and do it in the city. But yeah,
That's amazing. Do you
bro.
you mentioned that you've led worship a couple times at that church that you're a barista at. Do you, when it comes to your faith and your music, how, I'm curious how those align, or how do you feel particularly compelled to do worship at all? Because I know your music that I've listened to is, you wouldn't know that it's like Christian music. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
music made by a believer.
totally. And I think that's always been my mindset. I feel like a lot of music now is, at least in like the top 40 sort of thing, it's just like kind of fabricated. I feel like people are just writing music to, spark something in your brain or give yourself a feeling, not
Mm,
like telling a story or making something that's truly like impactful or honest. And I think that's always been my approach to writing music. Like, I'm not going to write a song about some like made up breakup thing. I'm gonna write a song about as something as silly as like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich I made for lunch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's super. That's a real thing that I experienced.
totally.
Um, so that's kind of been like, that's where, like, when it comes to faith, I'm I'm not a Christian artist, but I'm a Christian who makes music. So that might come out in songs, but it's not like I am outwardly shoving religion down people's throats. Because I feel like that's kind of why some people turn away from Christianity and like some sort of faith, because they feel like it's like kind of getting pushed onto them. Like, this is everything. Like, this, like, do this and like everything will be better. Or like, do this.
Right.
This is all you can believe. Like, people sin and people do bad things, but there's grace for that. And there's also like, I'm not saying I'm some perfect put together person. I don't think there is a perfect person out there. But I do know that I am a man who's walking with Jesus, or really just walking through life. I'm just doing the same thing as someone who does might not believe in Jesus. I'm still living life. So I
Right.
think that in relation to that whole word jumble, I feel like I making music is definitely something that I love and that I do as honestly as I can. Um,
That's
and my
cool.
faith might come out in that, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna write the things that mean a lot to me, and hopefully that means a lot to other people. Like, if I can
Right.
impact like one person, then I'm doing my job. Like, my goal is not to like be the next Billie Eilish, like touring arenas. Unless I got there, like, cool, but like that's not my goal. My
Right.
goal is to be an honest person, and
Yeah.
great.
That totally makes sense. Well, that actually is something that I'd be curious to ask you, because I feel like a lot of times, although we all do music, so many of our friends do music. I don't think I ever actually ask people what their goal is. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, I feel like we're all just kind of like doing it. Is there a specific goal to you? Do you have like do you have a plan, or like, this is what I want to do with music now that I'm in Nashville, and you're about to graduate too, right?
yeah.
Or you just did?
I'm getting on to the back half of my. I'll be a second semester junior, and I'm looking. I don't think I'm graduating early, so I'm looking
Okay.
to graduate not this May, but the following May.
For some
So that's
reason, I was thinking you were graduating this semester. I don't know why.
dude, that would be cool. That could be sick. I think I need the world to calm down a little bit before I can graduate. I just need
Yeah.
to let some stuff, let some stuff, let the weeds kind of get worked out
Yeah,
before I
totally.
get better. But
What do you, when you, I guess, even in the rest of college and post college, is there a certain thing you want to do in music, or is it just kind of like see where it takes me, write songs and put them out and see how people respond?
yeah, I think like mainly for me, at least, like my whole goal of making music is really just to impact people and be honestly make music for myself. Like, there's a lot of
Right.
like a lot of the things that I create are very much like stories and like things that I've experienced. Like, the first EP I put out was like 4 parts of my testimony, and that's not because I'm a Christian artist. Again, that's just because
Right.
that's what happened.
Is that
Um,
safety?
hmm Yeah,
Cool.
so that yeah, it was like a 4 part of just like kind of my upbringing. Um, but yeah, I think like my goal as a musician, or like my like maybe like a pipe dream of like what I would want as a musician is just really like to tour again. Really,
Yeah.
um, yeah, this past year is supposed to be a pretty big year for us, just like playing a lot of shows. And that's definitely what it was for a lot of people too. Like I had friends
Yeah.
who were releasing records and got like one day in their tour and they're like, "Psych, you gotta head home." Like that, like
Straight up.
yeah, like that one day when the whole world shut down, like every tour, like top to bottom, like Billie Eilish to like the random like Belmont band, like all of them shut down at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like insane to me.
It was
Everywhere
insane.
in the whole world, just everyone go home. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Totally unreal. We were, I think I was maybe one of the last bands touring because we were like in Mississippi and didn't really know what was going on. I think we played like 3 days longer than anyone else. Like people were like, "Bro, are y'all still out there?" We were like,
yeah,
"Yeah."
Mississippi, they don't know anything that's happening out there. It's like,
Honestly, the people who we were surrounded with were pretty sure that it was a hoax, and I was like, I'm down. I'm down for it to be a hoax." Uh,
yeah, I think everyone was numbered to be just kind of a lie.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
it's gonna be a myth. Uh, crazy man. Uh,
It is
yeah, we
crazy.
played like the week before they announced like, oh yeah, like school, we're not going back. We were playing shows up in. We played a show in Brooklyn. We played a show in Philly. Then we played a
Whoa.
show in Pennsylvania. So we were like knee deep in the pain of COVID for sure.
Wow. How did you book? Or are you the one booking? Y'all don't have like a booking agent, do you?
Yeah, like I've had I guess managers in the past that have helped me like do stuff. Um, but yeah, then I was doing a lot of like my own booking, and yeah, it was great. So really just like contact venues or like friends, especially being from up there and like have played
Hmm,
shows up there like with like the high school, post hardcore bands, just really just
totally.
up. It made it a lot easier to find stuff, or like just like hit up like, hey, can we stay at your house, or hey, can we open for you, even if it makes no sense for our bands to be playing together. It's still like we're getting in front of people. Like I
Right.
think the venue that we played in Brooklyn was like very much a like underground hardcore venue,
No
and we're
way.
in there playing like our pop rock like singer songwriter sort of stuff, and they're like, what is
Wow.
happening? Um,
What was it called? The venue? Do you remember?
gosh, I gotta find it. I'll see if I can.
That's okay.
But
Um,
I
you,
think it's like King something. Gosh, that's gonna kill me if I'm not finding it. I wonder what it is.
that's so cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. It was honestly. Oh, it's called oh Gold Sounds. It used to
Cool.
be called Kingsland, I think. Um,
Kingsland.
yeah, just sounds like a good time. Um,
Kingsland, just it's that whole like not really sure if it's like satanic or like Christian, like with the thing that happens with hard rock music.
well, that's like there's a venue in the basement of a church in Philadelphia called First Unitarian Church. I think that's what it's called, but it holds like a bunch of like pop punk hardcore bands like in their basement. Uh,
Wow.
and that's like you just never know with places anymore. Like
Yeah, that's
that's
insane.
become like a staple venue in Philadelphia. So it's like crazy, man. I
It's
forget
easy.
what. So you
Go
go.
ahead.
No, I
Oh,
was gonna
I was gonna say that it's easy to become a staple. All you have to do is open your doors. Like
say.
there's so many bands looking to book that if you're just like, yeah, my living room is open, all of a sudden that can become like a cultural staple for like a season of everyone's life where it's like, yo, I was at that guy's house every night.
That's literally Keo House. Like that's how it started.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
literally, I think it was at least from what Ren told me, it was her and Leah just saying, "Hey, let's hold a show."
Yeah, right.
Like I think it was like Jack Thompson,
Yeah,
who
yes, it was. Yeah, Jack and Grant and Carly Bannister, I think.
people who we love. Great.
Yeah, totally. So
But
what
like,
was I'm curious what did it look like doing music up until you came to Nashville? What was your relationship with music? It was and what made it a big enough part of your life to where you knew you wanted to, take
Totally.
the jump and come move to the Music City.
Yeah, man. So I started out playing drums like super young, and that's like definitely the instrument that I feel like if you chucked me up with a band, I feel like do I would be the most proficient, like if
Cool.
just like figuring it out. Um, so I like played drums in like good old Green Day, Led Zeppelin cover bands, like elementary and middle school, just like the like if you went to like a school of rock, it would that would be like that's basically like I went to like an after school thing that we would just like get put into a band and just shred, which is tight.
That is
Um,
sick, dude.
but yeah, I did that for a while, and then started just like dabbling and like writing my own music. And this was also around like the same time where faith was becoming more of an aspect of my life. Just like a quick
Cool.
backstory. I was mainly a Cheester growing up, just going to church Christmas and Easter. That's it.
Yeah.
Until like, seventh grade. Um, my parents wanted us to switch churches so like me and my younger sister could go through confirmation. So, just becoming like a member of the church.
Yeah.
Uh, and like I found out like, church is way more than just like old people singing and like, puke green pews, songs from millions of years ago. There's like more meaning behind it. So I
Right.
so I was like getting more involved in like a youth program and like mission outreach and getting involved in the worship team. And then I started like writing songs a lot more. And I was like, well, this is like a lot of like music that is like laced in the gospel or laced in just like my faith and like my upbringing and stuff. That's so funny. I just got an email from my home church. Uh,
Whoa.
that's so weird. It just said Thanksgiving. I said cool, but yeah. So I ended up with a couple of my like close friends from church. We started like making like Christian pop punk music naturally, because I was like a big like Switchfoot fan getting into that time, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is cool. So we just started writing some pop punk bangers, laced in the gospel, which is just hilarious now that I look back at it. But we like did that for a while. I think it started like my freshman year, and then we played our last show. I think like 4 days before I moved to Nashville. So it was like that was definitely the main thing for a while, and that was like some of the first experiences I got touring, and the first experiences like actually like building like a reputation or like a brand from the ground up. And especially it was like with like my best friends. So it made that a lot easier. Like we were doing this thing.
And y'all did some shows out of town,
Mm-hmm.
some
Yeah,
tours.
we did a couple weekend things, we did a couple week long things.
And were you booking those?
Yeah, we were booking them. It was hilarious because it was like us like just 10th graders just like hitting up like bigger pop punk bands that were coming through our town like, hey, can we play your show? And they'll be like, maybe. So like we
That's
play.
amazing, dude.
Yeah,
You were
dude.
DIY booking in high
Oh,
school.
straight up. Yeah, we
That's
were.
really impressive, man. I don't
Yeah,
know like very many people who have done anything like that.
yeah. But we we just saw bands that we like looked up to and we're like, we want to do that. And that's still the mindset I have now. Like I look up at artists and I'd be like, that's something that I want to do.
Right.
Like, see, I'll get there in a second, but like a lot of like bands, I guess, in that scene that we were making music in, even like outside like Faith, like the Warp Tour esque scene,
Sure. Yeah.
when our pants were a lot tighter and we wore old school high tops just everywhere.
Yes.
That like looking up to those bands, being like, oh, they get to like play the main stage. They're
Right.
playing to a sea of people. We want to do that. So we would try to get on as many shows that were with like bigger bands, like coming through like the weirdest cities as possible. Like we played like,
So cool.
yeah, dude, it was so fun. Um, but yeah, did that for a while, and I that was definitely like, if I'm honest, helped me mature a lot in like the music I make now. It's like I still like to play real guitars for sure, but like it's definitely given me the room to grow and the room to mature, like whatever my music endeavor is, which turned into like a solo project now. I still play with a band, obviously, who are my really close friends too. But yeah, that's basically like most of the music upbringing for sure.
That's really interesting, man. That's cool. I mean, that's a very early start. I mean, especially with stuff like touring. You know, like I've I was in a band in high school as well, and I would try to book us same way. You know, you're booking yourself.
Hmm.
I just wherever, but we never really left the Nashville area very much. Maybe like once or twice, but you
Yeah.
know, that's just really cool to hear. That's really exciting. That must have been, yeah, like a really formative experience, and it's good to have a band like that. Do you ever miss those days? Sometimes I miss, you know, all my friends do music with me, so sometimes I still feel like we're a band when we walk into a restaurant. We look like a band, but you
Yeah.
know what I mean. It's like when you're in public, you're like we're a band, but um, I don't know. Part of me is always like, man, I wish I still had that high school
Actual band.
band. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just like the camaraderie, it
Mhm.
really is just so special, you know?
There's something like romantic about it. Like that it's just it was so fun. And like those guys
Totally,
are
dude.
still like my best friends. Like that we talk every day.
Yeah,
And sometimes like they even play with my stuff, like depending on where we are.
that's
Uh
awesome, man.
but yeah, it's that definitely miss those days sometimes for sure. Just like it's I think it clicked for me originally when I we were taking photos for something and it was just me in the photo and I was like, well, where is everybody?
Right,
It's like
right,
it's one of those weird things where I'm like I'm promoting myself. Like even like from a creativity thing, like I'm not really writing for anybody else. I'm really writing like for my music. And I can like co-writes are also in there too and like group writing and stuff. But like I'm mainly writing these songs. Like
right,
financially I'm supporting this. I don't have like other places that are like helping me fund things. This is like me. And like I'm only like promoting one person and that's me. It was such a weird thing to wrap my head around for a while because it was like I was so used to just like having the I guess the comfort of the
right.
other people and
Yeah,
like kind of a safety blanket. Um which I still have those guys. Like I have like my friends who play music with me. I have like a great team who's supporting me now. Um and helping me do like music and stuff. But definitely like that took a lot of getting used to. It's just
right.
like it was a weird gray area that I was trying to figure out for a while. But
Yeah,
now
totally.
it's very much more figured out. Um but yeah, miss the dogs for sure.
That's cool. So you would have graduated high school in 2018, is that right?
Mhm.
And then you came down here, and then April 2019 is when you put out your first single. So that would have been like towards the end of freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Hey
you put
man.
out Right One.
Yeah. But yeah, I took I had that song written since like the beginning of freshman year. Like I think I maybe even the summer. It almost was like my old band was called Boundaries. I think we almost used that at some point.
Cool.
For stuff. But like I've been sitting on like a good amount of songs for a long time and just trying to figure out what um what I should do with them. Like I was just like, these don't sound exactly like what we were doing, but it's not like super out of it. And that's kind of what sparked my brain. Like, oh, I don't really need to find a band. I could just put these songs out. Uh,
Right. Wow.
that's basically what led to that. And that was definitely like more of a faith based song for sure. Because I had like most of that led like a lot of the safety EP too. Like I had most of the songs sitting just in my notes for a while. Um,
Wow.
I'm just trying to figure out what to use them
You're
for.
talking
Because
about the safety EP?
yeah,
Right, right,
like
right.
I wrote Write One and Discover around the same time. Um, and then I wrote Differences, and that was basically what I was just sitting on. And then we were recording those songs. It turned in like wrote Safety, and I was like, oh, that's like the perfect bow. It's just like kind of
Yeah.
wrap thing up.
Were
But
you um did you do you go back home for the summers, or have you done that in the past?
um, freshman year I did. I actually yeah, freshman year I was doing some shows up here and then was just trying to play as much as I can. But I was also interning at my home church, so I literally just led worship.
Cool. So is that why? So I know you put out the single in April, which would have been before school got out, and then the whole EP though dropped. It says at least on Spotify in December, right?
Mhm.
So is
Yeah,
that just because you were home, like doing other things besides music for
like
months?
I was really just hanging, man. Like I was doing a lot for the church and like trying to play shows as much as we could. Like we played those songs live during the summer. I
Cool.
think except for safety, we like I've been playing Discover and Differences for a long time. Differences actually used to be a boundary song, but we never put it out. Like we'd play it live. Like I think we played that song like freshman year of high school. Like
Yeah.
it's been around. Um, so we just ended up using. I ended up using those songs for other things and like revamping them and stuff. But
Yeah. Right.
it took a while to definitely put them out. I think more not necessarily because like not enough time, but just like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And also, there's definitely
Right.
like nervous about that too, especially it being like my first like project as like a solo artist. Like I put the single out, like that was like the first little like dipping my toes in. Now I'm kind of like at least like shins in. Um,
Totally.
Eventually I'll make the full cannonball, but
Well, I mean, after that, you've got the one single "Running Away" that you put out in June
yeah, we
of
were,
this year.
yeah. So we were I say we a lot because it's like a lot of just like my friends. Like
Sure. Yeah. I
I
totally
don't
feel that.
I don't treat Watson Maack as like a solo artist at all. Like a lot of my friends play on it. Like it's not just me that makes it happen. It would be
Right.
silly to take all the credit. Because I got a great group of people surrounding me for sure. But yeah, the original plan was to have another EP out in June and another EP out in like November.
Wow.
Um, which COVID kind of turned that one around. But we so I just put out the one song because that's all we got done. And then just been waiting for the right time to like do more stuff. So that's basically
Cool. Okay.
brings us to now.
Brings us to
Um,
now, which one thing you mentioned to me at the park was that you've got some plans for Christmas break, right?
yeah, so
Are those
we're
public? Do you want to talk about them?
oh yeah, sure. But yeah, we I just fully kickstarted a record, which is awesome.
It's
Um,
insane, dude.
it's wild. Like I've seen like so many of like people I look up to. Like Jack is one of them that I just like, or even Carly. Like a lot of those people who have been able to fully fund something, I'd be like, that'd be so cool. Especially it's like people who genuinely want to see you do that. So like hitting that milestone was insane. Um,
That is so
yeah,
cool, dude.
fully kickstarted a record, and we're I just finished the drums last weekend in Nashville, and then we're leaving this not this Friday, but the following Friday to go to my family's beach house in North Carolina, and we're gonna track the record out there for a couple weeks, which is gonna be insane. We're so stoked.
That's gonna be so much fun too. It's just gonna
It's
be a
gonna be
total blast.
yeah. It's like it's a lot of um, it's just without distractions or temptations in Nashville. Just like there's no. It's like we're going to this hick little beach town that we just get to hang and like
Right.
play guitar and eat tacos. It's just gonna be insane. Like we're
Wow.
but yeah, it's like a lot of the guys who play with me live and then our producer coming from Nashville, we're road tripping from Nashville to North Carolina. And then a couple of my friends from up here who also are like people who used to play in that high school band, like are coming down and tracking
No
out.
way.
Mm-hmm. So it's like two worlds colliding. It's gonna be awesome.
Dude, that's gonna be so fun. And the plan there is to just record
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
music.
track everything else. I have everything demoed out, and then we have all the drums done because we just didn't want to worry about that while we were there. Just because of like spaces and stuff, we just want to
Right.
have something that's very cohesive and um, yeah. So we're doing like all the guitars and vocals and keys and bass and whatever else we decided to get stoked on. But
Man, that's crazy.
it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, right. That's insane. So going into 2021, are you like what's the timeline? Do you have like a projected timeline or does it all just depend on the world?
It depends on the world, I would think. I feel very optimistic about the summer that we'll be able to do some sort of shows,
Mm-hmm.
whatever those look like. Like I, a lot of my friends have been asking me about it too. Like I don't care about going to a show with a mask on. Like I'll do it. I just like
Right.
I'm at that point where I really just want to support people who like definitely need it. Like the music industry is tanking, and
Yeah.
we can't have that. Especially like there's been a lot of stuff about like the independent venues in Nashville and like a lot of independent venues around the U.S. have had to close because of COVID, or even just like be completely shut down, which is terrible. Um,
Yeah.
I keep getting like when I was over the past couple months, like I've got a lot of messages from like friends up here, be like, "Did you hear like this place closed down?" And I'm like, "That's awful," because those are like a lot of those places that I played up here, are, like the places where I like that have like my stomping ground. Like that's super
Yeah,
awesome. Um,
that is really sad,
but
man.
but yeah, I'm hoping for June, no matter what that looks like. Really, just to, like be able to play for people and also
What
be able to go see people too. So
is that when the album will come out too?
that's the goal. So yeah, the goal is
Cool.
to put it out the whole thing in June, and probably start putting out singles a couple months before that, maybe in end of March,
Nice.
early April. So yeah, man, it's gonna be like 11 songs ish. Depends what else we keep adding. It keeps getting bigger just over time. Not I think just because like there's so much content that we've created now that we're like I just want to keep putting that out. Like I've been sitting on a lot of stuff for so long, but also it's like nice too to like have stuff ready to go for the next thing, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, right now it's around 11 tracks. That's I think what we're gonna keep going with.
How does it differ musically and like creatively? Like, do you feel like this is a big artistic step forward to you? Do you feel like is it going to sound a lot different than the past music you've released?
I think it's a lot more mature. I would say. I feel like
Cool.
that's kind of the goal of an artist is like keep trucking along, keep getting better. Um, and I that was my mindset for a while. Like I feel like a lot of the music I've created translates a lot better live than it does on the record. Like
Hmm.
I've had people come up like after shows be like, "Wow, like I listened to your music, but like you playing in front of me is insane." I'm like, "That's really kind, first off." But like that got my wheels turning a lot of like, "Oh, well, how can I like implement that into the music I create?" So I think it was just like trying to implement different aspects of like the same energy live into the recordings that we made. And then
Right.
also like that's definitely for like the harder hitting stuff. There's also like some of the softest stuff I've done, like and a lot of just topics I've never written about, like about just like my personal life that I've pushed into songs.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah.
really pumped up on. So it's like I think it's almost like therapeutic to be writing about them, not like in like a not in a bad way in the slightest. Just like being able to like just really open up and like be very vulnerable about a lot of these topics. You know,
Yeah. Totally.
I think it's definitely a big step forward in like the, I guess what I want Watson Maack to be, um, and whatever that musical endeavor continues to be. So yeah, I'm just pumped, man. And everyone's been like, who I've like shown demos to, or who's been working on these songs have been very encouraging, um, especially in the weirder things that I've tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm super pumped.
That's cool. Do you ever think about collaborating more with the industry? Is it something that you'd be interested in, like pitching this albums of labels or management or something, or
Yeah,
is that kind of stuff that you don't really think about or worry about? You know.
I don't I don't know. I feel like I've got such an amazing group of people who support me and my music. Um, so I feel
Cool.
like I don't know if I'm at that spot yet that I like have to pitch to labels. I honestly like love the DIY thing. Like
Yeah.
I love the idea that like we did a Kickstarter to fund a record and we're doing it at a beach house. Like and the money that I've raised from the Kickstarter is really just to pay my friends and to pay the bare necessities into making a record.
Right.
Like I'm not pot like I feel like my me and my dad were talking and he was like, "Well, what's all this money going towards?" I'm like, making sure my friends can, put food on the table. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's literally it. Like or like
$6,000 is not a lot of money to ask for at all. Actually, you
yeah,
know.
like yeah, and we ended up making a little over that, which is insane. We were able to get groceries with beach, which is cool.
That's awesome, man.
But like yeah, I think there was like some talk about like trying to pitch it to like distribution and stuff just to like get that extra push. Like I think that's probably the main focus, but other than that, I feel like if I'm supposed to be doing this and the music comes out, how I want it to, and people latch on, I think those things will come.
Yeah.
Like, but I there's a band I look up to a lot. They're called the Main, and they do a lot of like DIY sort of things. Like they were on like a huge label. I think they were on like
Yeah. The
and then
main for sure. They were really big like
mhm,
10 years ago
yeah, and then they
or
like
longer ago.
yeah they got off like basically like when they were just starting, they got signed to like a major label, and they were doing their whole thing, and then they left the label and they started their own label,
Wow.
started doing all their stuff themselves, which I madly respect. And like I think their following has gotten tripled the size that they had on a major label.
Wow.
Which I think it's amazing. It's like they truly just loved doing what they did, which I think it should be the goal for everybody.
That's
Uh,
crazy. I hadn't thought about this band in a while. This is really encouraging to hear. Yeah, I remember them from like 2008, man. I remember
it's
listening to
literally
middle
like,
school.
dude, literally that was me. Like middle school me was like old school all time low in the main, and that was it, man. Like
Cool, yeah.
that was all I listened to. But yeah, at least like I started getting like I took a break from like that sort of like emo scene for a while, and then like randomly it came up on my Spotify. There's like their new record. I was like, whoa, this is crazy, and it's like so musically different than the stuff that they used to the pop punk just
Sure.
rager. They're like that's kind of where I got the beach idea from because they did this thing called I forget what the series was called, but they like did a like documentary while they were recording the record. They just like rented out a house in California on on the ocean and just tracked for like 2 months.
Wow,
Like
no way.
a house out there, and I'm like, that is so cool. I'm like, my family's got one. Why don't we just go do that? And
Yeah,
like,
right.
and also like maybe not to the common belief, but you save so much money. It is ridiculous.
Totally.
Like I've paid so much money to like be able to put music out in the past, and this is still like I like kind of around what I've paid, but like I'm doing 10 songs. And
Right.
honestly, quality's better. Like
Yeah.
it because and we could also like take our time on it. We're at like an alternate location, and we like again don't focus on anything else other than that. But yeah, man,
That's
it's like
awesome.
it's it's been it's been a cool experience trying to figure out like I guess innovative ways to do music. Um, I've you and me share that one thing in common that we do the DIY thing as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, totally, totally.
I love and like that's just like not only because I love to do, but that's like what I grew up knowing. Like that was like the way. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. It's the and it's the only way. Like, unless you can get attention from a label or whatever, and even then, when you look at the contract, it doesn't always add up. Like what they're asking,
yeah,
the whole game where they give you more money than you could ever need, they treat you really well, and then all of a sudden they own all your music, and then the money runs dry, and you're just
and then
stuck.
they ghost you.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. That's like I. Funny enough, I think about. Have you ever seen that Drake and Josh episode when it's like it's um Drake gets a record deal and then they like change his song completely.
Whoa. I feel like that's
I
deep in my brain. I
I
loved Drake
forget
and
like
Josh.
I don't know why that's the thought. I haven't seen it in ages, but that's the first thought that came to my brain. Um, but it's like so similar to that. Like people who don't do music think it's like way crazier than that. Like no, it's like
Right.
people just steal your music. Like and that happens to like huge artists too now. Like all the time. Like people who like want to get off their labels and then they're like, well, we still own all of your masters. And I'm like, that is tough.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. But then I see artists that are so small that are absolutely killing it that own everything. Like
Yeah.
Dagon's got like 5 million streams and it's just banking on money. Like
Yeah.
he's not on a label. He has like 8 songs out that he made all in like with Logic stock sounds. Like it is just ridiculous, man.
Dayglow is
But
really cool. I really want to meet those people. They seem like a really cool band.
yeah, they seem just like very genuine people who were just got lucky at the right time. And
Yeah.
just Yeah, like honest, genuine music did the whole DIY thing. Really,
Totally. Who have you met? You know, I'm sure there's too many to name, but who are some people you've met since you moved to Nashville that you've really been inspired by or like become really good friends with who do music that you know kind of watch day to day and kind of keep up with and
yeah.
encourage you,
Um,
inspire you?
well, other than you, obviously, but like, there's
Come
like
on. Thank
Jordy's
you.
one of those that's like Jordy's a guy who's really just been killing it, and like he got to play that Keo
Unreal.
too. He's just insane. But
Oh
he's
yeah,
like
I'm so glad we had to play with Jordy. That's like going on my resume.
it's going, yeah, it's going on my LinkedIn for sure. But like he just watching him and like him being able to just like latch on to the younger scene, it's just
Totally.
like it's so inspiring. And like there's also artists like that are killing it in Nashville. Like Gatlin is one of those that we've been friends at a distance for a while, and then also like linked back up at that Keo House show, and we've been hanging out ever since. But
Yeah.
it's cool to see like watching artists from the ground up. Like a lot, like even like Belmont bands. Like there's I know you know Michael Allen Scott, who is one.
Hmm.
He I feel like if touring was a thing right now, I feel like he could be the next Dayglow. I think he would just absolutely destroy the world. He would
That's
just
awesome. Yeah.
like there's like artists like of his caliber that are like just killing it and that are super inspiring with like just making songs in their bedroom. And really just like working hard.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
goes the same for
That's
like
cool.
anybody in Nashville, like just like shameless plugs. Drew Elliott, Gab Grace, like there's so many good ones, man.
Cool. I
Um,
don't think I know either of those people.
dude, I'll shoot them to you when we're done with this for sure. They're like really
Yeah.
there's a good like there's a good crew of us that have just been hanging for a while that are like doing the whole music thing. Um, and like very supportive group people for sure. I'm shocked you haven't met either one of them. They're like intermingled in the circles.
Dang.
Gosh,
Well, it's been a crazy year, and
yeah, dude.
I typically I'm on the road half the year, so sometimes I feel like I kind of do miss out on meeting some cool people in Nashville. About a year ago, though, I was throwing some pretty crazy parties at my house, so I was meeting a lot of people.
You're just doing some ragers. Wait,
Yeah,
don't
like semi
you
ragers.
at your is this at your parents' house?
No, I moved.
What? Yeah, so that would have been crazy.
I've moved out of here. Like I lived in the dorm for a while, and then I've had a couple places I've lived for like a year lease or half year lease, and I would even do, I don't know. I'm just back here
No.
for COVID. Well, I moved back here because I was about to do a massive tour. It was like a 10-week tour, so I moved back in with them, and then the tour got canceled. So it actually worked out either way because I wouldn't have been able to have paid rent. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm back here until like 2030.
2045 at least. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, until I can tour, you know, and then tour enough to make enough money to pay rent, which is kind of the confusing thing because if I'm gone half the year, it's like you're almost paying double rent if you think about it. If you're only home for 6 months,
Yeah.
but you're signing a year lease, then it's like it's really expensive.
Yeah, like when you go on tour, you just gotta get like a storage unit. Like you should just start paying that now so you can just like just intermix some stuff.
Dude, you know what I want to try? Um, I don't know if this is viable at all, so I'm saying this out loud for maybe one of the first times ever, but I've had some friends who've been doing Airbnb extended Airbnbs like in LA and stuff. Well, they'll do like a month. You can sign like a month or whatever, and just they say that sometimes it's cheaper than rent, or it's like equivalent to rent.
Like people who have like this is the first year in a long time that Belmont has allowed sophomores to opt out of housing because of like COVID and stuff, and also
Cool.
just because of how big their sizes are, they just like didn't have places for them.
Yeah.
Right of like if Belmont got shut down, they'd have to kick you off campus. Uh,
Right.
they've like a lot of people that I know have been doing Airbnbs, and they've said it's been amazing. Especially that like
Wow.
you don't have a what's it called? Like you don't have fees. Like
Right.
utilities, I mean, like electricity or water or anything. You just like pay for the Airbnb, which is
Whoa.
crazy. Like honestly, that's the first time I vocalized that and realizing that really that like you don't have to pay like any of that. Like you can pay like cleaning fees maybe when you're done, but
Yeah,
like you're not paying for like pest control or like
right.
you're not gonna mow. I feel I feel like we're good. That was wild.
Dude, that was wild.
What a trip we got to go on,
I
man.
have no
Like,
idea what happened, but I got kicked out of I got kicked out of the whole meeting, and then Watson took over as
yeah,
the
I
king.
turned into the kingpin of the Zoom that I didn't even create. Plot twist, all the film came to me. I'm just the owner of Fun Zone now. That's it, man.
I'm so sorry, dude. That was crazy.
I'm glad that all is well now. That we're
If you want to take over the podcast, you could. You could just like do the episodes from now on.
no, yeah. I mean, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll let you finish up this one just out of me,
Yeah,
keeping
yeah, yeah.
myself humble, and then I'll take over.
We were so close to the end. I have literally 9 minutes left that I wanted to talk to you, like to make it to
dude,
our hour mark.
dude, we were doing so good.
We had a good
I'm not
flow.
even, dude, I'm not even worried about it. I could talk to you 4 hours.
I
So
appreciate that, man. I
we can just
appreciate
hang,
that a lot.
man.
What we were talking about was we were both kind of thinking out loud about this new prospect of doing Airbnb as like a residency, and I really do think that's a really cool idea because like you could literally like let's say like for the summer or something, you could just like if you didn't have a lease right now, you know what I mean, if your lease ended, you could just
Mhm.
like go to LA for like 2 months, and it might be cheaper lifestyle, you know?
Yeah. Dude, literally, like that could be so cool for like being on tour. Like if you're just like you got all your boys and you got your everything you own in that trailer and just like keep on kicking, and then you can just like you could plop down in Colorado or
Dude,
like that's
whoa. I never thought about it like that. You could like never live anywhere. You could just be like, we're going on tour, and then that tour ends, and yeah, you're like in a different city. They're like, well, we'll live here for a month.
it. I'm like, dude, that'd be insane. Imagine your whole band.
Whoa.
Imagine you and Grant and Sma just like, and the boys just chilling in just a random house in like Portland, Oregon, just like when you got off tour. And then you
Yeah,
show up
right.
and you go for like 6 more weeks and you're like, oh, now I'm in like Tampa, Florida. Like just the most random. They end up in Boston. Like, what?
You would just have to spend one day like going to finding like a cheap couch, you know, like beds.
No, but the thing with Airbnb is like they're furnished.
Oh, right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to do anything. You just like show up.
Whoa.
You could do it like the day before and
Whoa,
like
right.
dude,
Holy moly, dude.
I know I'm getting your wheels turning right now, and I'm sorry if I'm gonna make your brain just explode.
I'm gonna
I'm
up and leave.
he said I'm heading out.
Yeah, dude, that's a great idea. Well, that's cool. I actually am going to consider doing that. Especially because when you're on tour so much, yeah, like even in Nashville, like I said, it's almost double rent. So like if your rent was less than twice as much to live in an Airbnb, but you were on tour half the year, it would be
Yeah,
more affordable to do that. Does that make sense?
yeah, no, literally, like, and you, and that also gives you the ability to like travel. Like, even though you're already touring, you're already like traveling while like touring, but
Yeah,
like it's you get a different culture, like in a
right.
different city. Like, it's not
So
the
true,
same
dude.
living in Nashville that it's living in like California,
Yeah, right.
or like living in New York or whatever.
Are you would you think about like after college moving somewhere else, or do you think you're gonna stay in Nashville for a while?
Um, I think there's definitely some factors that could like just random factors that could mean me like moving. Like if I had like the right job, like maybe
Yeah.
like my goal is to stay in Nashville.
What would a
Um,
job be like outside of just being an artist?
like well, I'm going to school for music business, so like anything really in that. I'm just gonna come in out with like a BA, I think, or
Cool.
something. I don't really remember, or something like I'll come out with a business degree or something, which will be cool. So I could really do anything in business if I really wanted to. Obviously, I don't want to do a 9 to 5, but like
Yeah.
my like again like my main goal in life like outside of music is just to like be a dad and like start a family and do that whole thing. So like if that means like I have to like do a job, that's like can like provide. Like I would much rather do that. But
Right.
yeah, dude, it all depends really. Like
Wow.
there's like a couple of factors that would mean like I wouldn't be in Nashville. But definitely like to do music and to do like the whole artist thing, like Nashville's the spot. That's where I'd want to be.
Straight up. It
Yeah,
definitely is the spot, man. It's a really, really good place to be.
yeah, dude.
It's why I don't feel much desire to like leave it long term. I'm like, I can't really picture a better spot for creating music right now, aside from the fact that rent is getting so crazy high. But
Granted, like yeah, me and my roommates literally just had a conversation about it, like trying to find a different house to live um, in the summer or like when we're like for the next year, because it's like insane. The rent is just wicked expensive.
it's out of control, man.
Yeah.
How can you exist in a city where you can't? I don't know. I don't know if this is like like. There's a lot of ways you could spin this, like politically or just like. But when it comes down to it, it's like, how can you call yourself Music City when musicians can't afford to live in your city? It's like,
That's what I'm saying. Especially that, and especially like right now, like we can't tour or
yeah,
anything. Like
totally. And if rent just keeps going up because it's like becoming more bougie and full of more like
yeah,
I don't know, rich people from LA and New York, which is like
man.
I love that people are coming. I love that the city's getting hip and I love all that. But if you can't live here, like I'm a musician, I personally am, and I don't make enough money, which might be, I'm not saying it's all someone else's fault. Like there are ways I can make more money or I could work a part-time job or something. But like the fact that I have to live in my parents' house and I love my family, it just kind of it
Yeah,
makes you think like because I do make enough money to where 10 years ago I could have lived on my own, you know what I mean? But I can't anymore.
yeah.
I don't know. Something I
It's
think about.
happening. Yeah, totally.
Um for as we wind down, I would like to ask, is there anybody that you already were plugging some of your homies earlier. Is there anybody that you would like to see on Fun Zone next round?
Ooh, that's so. That's a good question. Um, I would love to see Michael Allen Scott. I think that'd be so fun.
Let's do that.
Um,
Yeah. I'm gonna
dude,
text him right now.
honestly, yeah, please do. Like, he would be great. I think really just any like Nashville artist would be dope. Like, there's like Drew Elliott and Gabrielle Grace, or even like I know you've had Gatlin. I know you've had um, I know you've have you had Jordy yet?
I've not had Jordy.
You should get Jordy on. That'd be
That's what
so.
Leah said too. I think I'm intimidated by the idea of asking him because I feel like he has so much clout that I just don't see what the incentive would be for him. But
Or like if you like we're I know you did I know you had Jack on and
Mhm.
Grant. What about like you could do like do you know Carly? Like I don't know her like I think I've
Whoa.
met her maybe a few times, but like very like hey what's up and then like walking away like very
Yeah.
like interactions.
Yeah. I'll have Carly. That's a great. I'm gonna write that down too. That's a great idea.
Yeah, Carly's a legend. She just kickstarted a record.
She kickstarted the heck out of a record. That was amazing.
Dude, it's insane, man. I'm excited to hear her stuff. I loved her new the single that she recently put out. It was awesome.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I did too. She's incredible.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I'm gonna reach out to both of those people
Or,
on your behalf. You get
oh,
the referral fee if they say yes. You get
yeah,
a hundred
please, yeah,
bucks.
yeah, send me that Venmo. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Oh, do you know Jake Smith? His name's legit Smitty.
Dude, not super well.
Dude,
But
I
that's a
feel like
great one
you
too.
guys would be bros. Like
Really?
he's the coolest man. Like you should totally have him on the pod for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'll hit all three of them up.
for sure.
And anything else as we come to the very, 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 very end of our story together today, our pre-Thanksgiving fun zone. Is there anything else you'd like to share with anyone, or anything else you didn't get a
Um,
chance to say?
everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. Wear your mask so we can tour again. Like, wash your hands. Stream freezes music, and maybe not
Yes.
feeling it. Like,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yes.
a like.
And follow
Come on,
Watson on Instagram.
come on, man. Yeah, that'd be cool too. You can hear about the album, or just DM me some memes, like whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
just we should just start a let's just start a meme account. You and me, we'll just like co-run an Instagram, and we'll just post memes every day.
dude, Jordy, Cersei. he sends memes to this like group message or like group, Instagram message that I'm in, and that guy has such a better understanding of memes than anything I have at all.
I don't even. I feel like us three should do it. Imagine
Yeah.
it'd be so sick. Like we just mess around and just like post memes every day. Be like, Monday kickstart, and it's just a flood of memes.
Yeah, yeah. There's people who get paid full-time salaries to make memes, so we have something to work towards.
Dude, I can't even comprehend that. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
But good for them. Glad. I hope they're doing well during this time.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure Chips Ahoy is still paying for to get integrated into a meme somewhere or
That,
whatever.
that's true.
um,
That's really funny.
follow Watson and show him some love. For everyone listening who's not familiar with his music, go listen to. He's got one EP and then one single they put out this year, and an album on the way.
Yeah,
Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. Please, I will send you $100 if you do.
yeah, he will. I
Yeah,
can't send you $100, but I know Freeze will send you $100.
yes, Watson can confirm. I've sent him hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, dude. Like it's been crazy. It's paid for my rent, my expensive rent in Nashville. So,
Until I see you again, man, I look forward to walking again. I guess hopefully,
dude.
after Thanksgiving, maybe when next time. Are you gonna be back in town for like December?
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back for a few days in the beginning of December, and then towards the end of December into the new year, I'll be here. So,
Cool. Maybe
okay.
I'll get to see you again, and if I don't, we'll keep in touch. And I hope you have a good time creating this album.
Dude, heck yeah, man. Let's go on a walk real soon.
Let's do it.
Yeah, dude. Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. See you later, bro.
Brother. See ya. Bye.
Peace.